All right, we're going to be looking at a Nocturne game here, Silver. Congratulations on promos, by the way. You got this shit, dude. Easy clappage, easy clappage. So what we're going to be looking at is this gameplay. I chose this gameplay because realistically, I don't think your lanes always go perfect. I've seen a couple of games where you actually like had a good time in lane, or specifically one game in lane where you didn't close out early. It was like a 30-minute game and you had like 9 kills and no deaths or nothing like that. But I feel like that rarely happens. So I thought I could kill 2 birds with one stone, kind of help with your laning here, but also figure out why the game stalled out so much, because you might be doing the same type of things in the other game where you went 9-0-4. So even though you do die a couple of times in this game, I hope to kind of figure out why our laning might be rocky, because I did see some of your past games on op.gg that shows you kind of get out of lane the same kind of, you kind of end the game with the same KDA. So we're going to see what's going on here. Nocturne is a fine pick. Very strong counter to Twisted Fate. Just, you know, spell shield to stun. Easy clap. Not really much of an issue, honestly. Let me grab my notepad here. Open that bad boy up. Okay. All right. So we're going into TF mid here. You want to ask yourselves a couple questions here. This is a really easy way to gauge how you want to play the lane. First question you want to ask yourself is, I'll write them down for you. So questions to ask. There's more that goes with this, but this is just going to help you out where you are right now. Not in the sense of rank, just kind of in the sense of what we're talking about. So question number 1, which would be, how do I win lane? Question number 2 is, how does my enemy laner win lane? Question number 3 is, how can I prevent the enemy laner from doing what they want to do? So with that question, let's answer the first one. What is Nocturne really good at? Well, he likes to fight, but not necessarily really that great at like actually fighting someone early, unless they're a melee champion. You just use fear, hit him a couple times and run away. So I guess we could say Nocturne likes to poke you out of lane, but more or less he just wants to hit 6. That's pretty much what you're looking to do, is I want to survive till 6. Twisted Fate, in the same realm, except he can go with the poke because he's a ranged champion versus a melee champ. So he gets to auto poke in. Why? Because he is ranged and you're melee. Now, if you were playing like Syndra, he wouldn't really want to do that anymore. He just want to hit 6 just like you, but in this case, you're melee. So he's going to try to poke you out of lane, and he wants to hit 6. Now, the final thing here is, well, if he just wants to hit 6 and gets roaming, and you want to hit 6 to get roaming, what's probably the best thing to do to prevent him from being able to do what he wants to do? Well, if we have the lane in 3 spots here, here, or here, having it perma push in, keeping it in the middle, or keeping it towards our tower, which one is probably the best to prevent this guy from hitting 6, and also helping prevent, you know, him poking you out of lane if that comes down. You might be thinking, well, if I push him into the tower, he can't poke me down because he's using a lot of his abilities to CS, which means I'm free to kind of do whatever I want while walking and roaming and whatnot. And if you do see roam potential, that's fine. You can do that, but the odds of you being able to gank a Teemo, unless he's under a tower, the odds of you being able to gank a Misfortune and a Morgana, unless they're perma pushed into your tower, is really, really slim. And you can gauge how the situation looks as the game progresses. That is definitely okay. But for right now, with these little matchups here, it's just extremely hard for you to go for any ganks. So you having the advantage of having the priority doesn't really do much other than being able to assist your jungler. So that's a toss-up if you want to do that. So you have 2 options here. If you perma push in, make waste his abilities, you have priority on which you can't really use much, or you can keep it towards your tower. Yeah, he's going to hit 6 first, more or less, but you can set up ganks for your jungler. It's extremely easy to gank this champion, especially with the Jarvan and a Nocturne. So I would opt to keep it here because we can prevent him from hitting level 6 if he just keeps getting ganked. Whereas if we shove him in, he'll hit 6 no matter what. And even if you have priority to rotate, Nocturne's probably not going to want to, not Nocturne, I'm sorry, Nihilus is probably not going to want to fight Jarvan. Probably just going to run away. And then even so, you know, you're not going to be able to get any kills anyway unless you have ultimate. So definitely would opt to keep the wave here for the sake of this game, because we can set up ganks and we can prevent Twisted Fate from letting him 6. Let's see what we do though. So we already start shoving him in, doing kind of what we said we would do, right? And with this in mind, he's not really losing out on anything with you perma shoving like this. Now you're putting it back to you, which is fine. You don't want to under your tower though. You want to kind of have it close. Now we see you want to rotate. As I said before, he's not going to really want to fight this fight. He wants to run away. Right? And you want to show up, then he shows up, and then this guy like that. Yeah, it's just a whole clusterfuck. So if we go back, does this look like you got... Does this look like... Wow, the guy was fucking had no HP. Does this look like you got this kill because you played it well? Or does this look like you got this kill because this guy just played it bad? Let's watch it again though. See what happens. So Jarvan's fighting. Teemo comes down because Teemo has priority. He shouldn't have taken that fight anyway. He gets low. You then show up. Teemo dies because he just is a little bit overextended. You get a free kill here. And you get out. Right? Oh, you don't get out. Oh, you did get out. Cool. I don't know what Jarvan's... What in the world? Okay, that guy's dead. He got out. Oh, wow. That shit. Okay. Alright, from the look of everything there, you can tell that it wasn't really worth. You traded 1 for 1. You got double buffs, but you can't do anything with it because you're not 6. And this guy was forced to, like, almost die. It's clear as terrible. Now people know exactly where he's going to be. Now, are they going to use that information? Maybe not. But when you get to higher elos, they will. They'll use the information that this guy's low, and his next bet is probably to back and go down bot. So the bot's gonna have to worry about being ganked, and it's just telegraphed. As far as you go, you don't have flash anymore. Twisted Fate doesn't have flash anymore, which is good, but you don't have flash anymore. And then also, Teemo basically just kind of lost his lane. Good part about this though is Garen's losing a lot of CS for that play, so it's a little bit more in Teemo's favor. But a lot of that happened because everybody just played it bad. It wasn't the fact that you played it well. It wasn't the fact that you did a good rotation. It was just the fact that everybody played it bad and you got a free kill out of it. And you don't want to climb because they're bad. You want to climb because you're better. So really, really think about that. This lane isn't going to be able to freeze. You have to shove this. It's going to slow push. Yep, clear that wave. Whole entire thing. Oh boy. You're going to get stuck, yeah. Luckily you lived that. Red buff allows you to sustain a little bit more. Okay, it's gone. I would definitely choose it back. Nice, well played. I mean, that's what I mean. That was so easy to set up. He's not sick. Oh, he is now. But the fact that Jarvan was able to come in and you just do this, easy, easy. We could have done that earlier. Set up a gank for him earlier. Could have got the kill earlier. Could have put Twisted Fate behind instead of doing this weird play over here. I just managed to happen. Now you're thinking, well, am I supposed to rotate for stuff like that? You are. No, without doubt. You do want to rotate. The thing is, though, I'm just explaining that that just happened. You got a free kill off of that rotation because they played it poorly. Not every game they're going to play it poorly like that, and you're not going to be able to get a free kill off rotation. So you want to be really careful about if you're going to participate in that or not. So looking for an ult, definitely spotted. If you're going to look for an ult, I don't actually know if you're looking for an ult. You might be just looking for to ward like you just did. But if you're going to look for an ult, definitely go backwards and then come around here or here. Do not go this way. Do not go this way. Because the teammate can easily ward right here and they can just spot where you're going. So better for you to just go back or even base and then just ult lane straight off the bat or ult from the side. Whatever you want to do. Just do not go these ways over there. Do not go that way. Do not go this way. Do not go that way. Do not go that way. There's just no reason to. You can do a lot from with an Nocturne. So be creative. Be creative. Okay. So if you're looking to freeze the wave, don't buy Tiamat. Buying Tiamat, if you don't want to freeze the wave, that is bad. I mean, if you do want to freeze the wave, it's bad. You want to make sure that you are only buying Tiamat when you want to freeze the wave. So we're going to write that down for us. Do not look to buy Tiamat unless you plan to freeze the wave. You're just auto-shoving it. Even if you're trying to freeze it, you're just auto-shoving it. And that is not what you want to do. If you're going to have Tiamat, you want a hard push, rotate. Hard push, rotate, roam, whatever. Rotate, roam, rinse and repeat. You do not want to buy Tiamat and try to freeze it here like this. It's not necessary. Because now the playstyle that you have is so wishy-washy. I mean, you're not really sure what you want to do. You know? Does that make sense? Like, you're not really sure where this game is going. You're just playing it out. And you always want to know what you're trying to do within the next couple of seconds. Okay. That dive shouldn't have worked. But it did. I'll be very cautious on dives like that. Let you tank it first if the guy's low. Actually, I don't think he was like low. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure Jarvan was like a little not as healthy, but maybe he just tanked the tower. That was a little quick. Okay, no, he was full HP. Okay. Did he not choose a stun card, or am I trolling? No, he ate that. Yeah, he's played that bad. He played that bad. You played that real bad. Twisted Fate could have just not have been dope there. He didn't respect you guys. Good ult, good reaction to it. But just be careful, because your jungler can do stuff like that. Unless he's your duo, he'll do stuff like that, and he might throw your lane. Throwing a lane with a TF is not that bad. It's just Twisted Fate. But be really careful about stuff like that so he doesn't throw it. Going for a run that you possibly can't help out with. There's no reason to come down here. Just push your lane. You gotta think a couple of seconds later, right? Looking at this, if we think about 5 seconds, by the time you get there, the fight's gonna be over. Unless they hard overextend under the tower. But remember, we want to play as if they're good, not as if they are bad. We want to climb because we're good. So in this instance, if we kill this person that they have right here, they're gonna go for dragon, right? So we kill them, and it's okay, you're coming. Right here, the fight's over. There's no kill potential anywhere. That's not happening. Misfortune doesn't really have any mana. It's just not happening. It's not happening. They shouldn't go for it. They should just back off because they know that you are already on your way. You are spotted roaming. So at this point, I would leave. You already can tell that they're not going for this. But you just gotta go. If you get something, I'm gonna be like, you're a legend. But you shouldn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's a spicy ass dragon call. I applaud that. That was, I don't know if you called it, but that was a good call if you did. That was spicy. I like that. Very good. Very good. I like that. Oh, okay. That was a real spicy dragon call there. I'm glad. The thing is, though, you wasted a little bit of time. And if dragon wasn't up, that'd be a load of time you wasted. But because this was up, you're able to, get it. Very good on the spot call. I like that. Nothing wrong with it at all. Very, very good on the spot call there. Okay, we're going back mid. Okay, so we have goals. We want to spin this. I want to spin as fast as possible. Little stuff like that. Ping your team back. This is pretty obvious that he's going to die. There's really no reason for him to be here. You know people are spawning. Ping him back. This guy's really greedy. And he just dies for it. If you see stuff like that, ping them back. It's just the best way to prevent things from happening. I'm not going to write that down because that was a really, really hard one to know that he's going to int. But when you get used to seeing stuff like that, you'll ping it more. I'll see more in the game if you ping or not, and I'll write it down if you don't, but oh, that fucking sucks. But for the most part, yeah. So we need to have a better base times, though. Have better back timings. Usually, you want to back when you have a power spike item or a piece. Oops. Of a power spike item. So something like a serrated dirk you would want to back for. Something like a Clawful's Warhammer you want to back for. A Tiamat you would back for. Those things that are like little power spikes. Then of course your actual item like Dustblade or Edge of Night or whatever whatever you wanted to build. That would be your power spike item. Triforce. I'm not saying Triforce on Nocturne is like exceptionally good or anything. I'm just saying like stating items that you would buy that would increase your power. Pretty much any full item should do that, unless it's like a tank item, and even then, I mean, it's still an item worth picking up, huh? So, definitely look to back for that. All right. So now we get on the map, right? We get on the map and we see a couple of things. We see Twisted Fate. I'm trolling. You see Ezreal, and you see Morgana. We see Misfortune. Up here, we see Teemo, Jarvan, Veigar. Down here, we have no objective, and people are about to die. Up here, we have an objective. Go for this thing. Alright, your whole team's down already up here, and there's nothing bought for you. Tower's gone. We should be looking to get this and get that. So what we're gonna do is say, when towers go down, try to look to play on the side with the objective. Every time you back, make sure you look at what's up and play to that side. So dragon could be coming up. I didn't check. We'll check right now. 1 minute and 34 seconds. You definitely could path up here, grab that shit, and head towards there. But let's see what you do. Maybe you do change up your path. You were really going on the spot dragon call, so maybe you know. Nope, a whole bunch of random shit happens. You end up dying. We could have went up there while all that random shit happened because our team is bad. And then we could have rotated to that. To the dragon here. You see the big difference? Like, you always want to be doing something. You always want to keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep blowing. You never want to have those stall moments where we're just kind of fighting for no reason. I always explain team fights as Russian roulettes. The game with the gun, you know? I always say, you know, if I were to play Russian roulette with you and you were to pull the trigger 3 times and I only have to pull it 1 time each turn, so you'd pull 3, I'd pull 1, you pull 3, I pull 1, would you want to play that game with me? 9 times out of 10, unless you got a death wish, you would say, no, I don't want to play that game. Same thing here. Team fights are just like that. You team fight 4 or 5 times when you only need to technically team fight twice. You're leaving, you know, three random team fights to throw a game. That's all it takes. So that's why you don't want to fight that much. So we see dragons up. Now we're like, oh, okay, let's go do dragon because it's up. And that's usually the thing for lower elo. Lower elo players will always gravitate towards Jew and dragon, but never really the Rift Herald or Baron. Everybody's just like putting priority on the dragon. Once again, we're just kind of doing random stuff, not playing around these objectives. Really, really big for us to do. Yeah, you can ult people, you can pick people off, but killing someone over and over and over and over and over and over isn't gonna help you win the game. You had 2 chances to get Rift Herald, the first one and the second one, and we didn't even go for any of them. So you need to prioritize Rift Herald a lot more so you can get this thing done. Dude, imagine if you had Rift Herald right now. Imagine if you had it in your pocket right now and you drop that bad boy, girl. You take her out. Do you even have to hit her? Spell Shelf, hit the tower. It breaks that. Breaks that. You got 2 towers and an inhib for free, man. A lot better than what you do here. A lot better. And you wouldn't have had to flash. You would just ult when the tower breaks. And that's why it's important. That's why playing around objectives is important, because you have a lot more success playing around something that's always 100% of the time, which are objectives, than to do a random team fight and just hope for the best. So right now, we're doing that thing where we really only win if our team wins, otherwise we lose. And what I mean by that is we're playing a certain playstyle where I'm just going to sit here and keep killing people and keep picking people off, and I hope that my teammate does not end. If my teammate ends, this strat will not work because there's nobody able to actually fight 4v4s or even possibly 4v3s. This is a really dangerous strat when you're not ahead. It's a really good strat when you are ahead. But you don't have to split push. You definitely can choose a team fight. You shouldn't be dead. I definitely would have tossed the Q forward so you got the movement speed. I think you just had a fluke. I don't think that's anything like major. I think you just did it on accident, but definitely toss that shit forward so you can get the movement speed. So use split pushing as a stall tactic. It is just there to cause pressure for your team to do something or keep the game running longer. So if we look at that play here, let's go back just a little bit more. Look at this play, right? We're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing. Okay. So our team is doing something, right? Which means we don't have to actually keep pushing. We just back off and sit in the bush. We're split pushing for that reason. We're not split pushing to get towers. That's not what people. You don't do that. That's how you end up dying, just like you did. You split push for this. You split push for this. If it's for towers, you're not split pushing correctly. Also, you want to split push to stall the game. So in a sense of like, okay, my team's not really getting anything, I can push, back off because they're going to come stop me. Maybe recall, push bot, rinse and repeat. I don't know. Just keep shoving shit out. And eventually the game's just going to last so long that you can scale back in with your team. But in this case, your team's already winning. This isn't necessary. They're already on something. You did your job. You leave. Okay? That's how you have to look at split push. Or split pushing. Like, it's to stall the game out or it's just cause pressure. That's it. Now, your team was able to do stuff. Like, Timo was able to do something with your death, but he died for it too. So it could have been played a lot better where you were alive and then he did what he just did and they had to pick and choose to who to stop. So, yeah, like I said, you're definitely not split pushing with a purpose. You're just kind of doing it to pick people off and pray your team does well. And that's not going to give you to carry a game. It's just going to, you know, get to the point where your teams aren't going to be doing enough for you. Definitely wouldn't have ulted onto that. So look at this fight. Look where two people are. Look where they are, right? I would just keep pushing. Make them come to you so that your team doesn't really have to fight this fight. Even if you ulted here, doesn't matter. You will still die. Ulting here, doesn't matter. You should still die. I don't know. You might kill him. Pro plays? No, you die. Okay. Oh, you got out. Pro plays, dude. So imagine if you didn't do what you just did. They would have all been dead. And you almost died if that Garen was better. Or you could have got this tower and this inhibitor while your team's doing all that random shit over there. See what I mean? Got the same thing kind of done. But you wouldn't have been almost dead, if not already dead. And when we end up dying in team fights, we're relying on our team to actually do well enough in those team fights to make our death matter. And sometimes that just doesn't happen. So definitely really look to use, if you're going to split, do it, like I said, to cause that pressure. And if team fights are bad, especially like that one, just opt to go do something else to balance out that bad decision that your team made. So if you feel your team is making a bad play, think, is there something else I can do to make the play not as bad? Basically just kind of balance out the play. I think you'll be all right. Okay. That was unfortunate. Hey, Timo's on the right track. One thing we also want to do is pay attention to these three things. If we don't have all these three things, we can't go for team fights. So, positioning, resources, Okay, so if we do not have positioning, ults, and resources, we don't go for it. If we have all three, we can go for it. I'm not even gonna talk about that. That was random. I hate that. You know, people are like, you're doing good as team, and then the one guy, because you were split pushing, decides, well, I want to be the hero and split push too. And it's like, bro, if you just fucking don't group the hell up. So now you're forced to have this guy fucking split pushing when it was working when he was grouping. It's just wild, dude. He ends the game now. No? Yeah, he does. Okay, let's go back here. Shouldn't have been able to end the game. Those guys are mongrels. Let's look at this. I just wanted to explain this thing real quick. So we have this fight. And as I said, positioning. Are we in a good position to have a 5v5? We have to assume they're all here in the fog of war. Unless you have pre-context that was saying, oh, this guy cleared the way, but now he's headed this way. You don't know where everybody is, so you have to assume everybody's all right there. If all 5 players are here, or all 4 plus Morgana are there, you're basically saying, I want a you know, 3v5. This is not good positioning, so you wouldn't go for it. These guys are way too far. Do you have ultimates? Yeah, we have ultimates. Do we have resources? Yeah, we have HP and mana. That's what resources are, HP and mana. We have it all, but we don't have the positioning, so we don't go for this. And that can help you with a lot of bad fights. So just go to a fight where you just died, right? And then I'll conclude. So you're coming down here. Positioning. Looking like we're pretty solid on closing the gap here. I don't agree with this play. I'm just using this as an example. Okay, he dies. Okay, so we see 3 for sure. Right? We've seen that Garen was there. We've seen that Morgana was there. We've seen that Misfortune's there. Oh, actually, we see 4 for sure. So we have 4. He just dies. So now it's 3. So we're saying we're gonna have a 3v5. Or 3v4. Right? Actually, I'm trolling. It's a 3v5. Yeah, a 3v5. Already, positioning is bad. Already. It's all bad. We got ultimates, we have resources, but we don't have positioning. We don't have... It's 3v5. We don't go for this. And if we would have known not to have these, we would have been all good to go. But of course, we weren't really paying attention to that much. And we kind of just get killed. And we ult in, and then yeah. And honestly, she should have rotated a lot quicker. Morgana shouldn't have backed. She should have just stayed with low HP and helped at the fight, and you all 3 would have just died. Remember, we want to win because we're better, not because they're bad. Which is why you get away with a lot of the things you do get away with, because they're not that great. When I say low elo players, when I'm saying like they're bad, I'm not saying, you know, that, oh, you know, low elo players don't know how to play the game properly. I'm just saying low elo players don't know. That's all that I mean when I say low elo players. They're low elo because they don't know enough about the game to be high elo. That's all. That's it. Unless you're the person that thinks fucking I'm the best and everybody else sucks, and as far as I'm concerned, you just ass. But you know, I'm biased. All right, anywho. So homework here. I definitely think that we should work on analyzing, not just mid matchups, but all the matchups. So analyze matchups, so to let you know what you're supposed to be doing. Have better back timings for sure, for sure. Number 3 would help you out a lot. And number 6 would help you out a lot. So I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If any of this makes sense, let me know. Otherwise, good job here. Good luck in your next games. Good luck in your promos, man. You got this. Don't even worry. I expect to hear great things from you. And without further ado, Coach Blaker signing off.